Hello, Peixi Ren, and congratulations. You are the 2023 Rising Star Scholarship student winner.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and you're going to join us in Dublin for celebrations. But before we do that, let's have a little chat, and let's start with you introducing yourself a little bit.
Okay, sure. My name is Peixi, and I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in translation and localization management in Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey. This is my final semester here, so I'm about to graduate in May 2023. That's very soon. And something else about me is that I'm not a stranger to Gala because I was at Gala 2022 in San Diego last year. I learned so much from that Gala, so I said to myself, if I'm given another chance, I would definitely go back. So that's kind of my fundamental motivation to apply to this Rising Star Scholarship. And I'm very excited about the upcoming trip to Dublin because I enjoyed traveling and trying new food. So I hope this can be a learning experience and a vacation at the same time.
Okay, and would you recommend to other students to apply for the scholarship or to join Gala as a student volunteer, for example, in other conferences?
Oh yes, definitely. Actually, another reason why I applied to this scholarship is because one of my peers reminded me about the scholarship questions is out on Gala's website. So I probably would have missed it without the reminder. So I would definitely do that for my other schoolmates.
Okay, excellent. So in your presentation for the scholarship, you talked about a new job role, which you call the Localizer Plus. Can you tell me what that is?
Well, sure. Actually, I came up with this term while I was watching a commercial about Disney Plus. So I thought I can kind of reuse that term and reinterpret it and use it in my presentation. As the inventor of the term Localizer Plus, I would define it as someone who has a localization expertise and also knowledge in other domains. And on top of that, is able to integrate that knowledge with localization expertise to make localization strategic decisions. So the reason why I think it's super important to be versatile in the localization industry is because as localizers, we need to deal with so many different types of content, and each content is different in its own way. So we need to be familiar if we're not the expert in that domain. For example, if I'm handling marketing material localization projects, I need to at least understand how a marketing campaign works in different locales so as to provide the best localization strategies for my stakeholders. And that's one aspect. The other layer is that I think nowadays localization doesn't receive the enough attention as it's supposed to, because the concept of localization has existed for decades, but now many people still don't get what localization is. So I think as professionals in the industry, we need to speak the language of people from other departments and explain to them why localization matters so much, why localization can make a difference. So that's kind of my main point in my presentation. That's why we need to develop new skills in data analysis and influencing to make our voice heard.
Yeah, and in fact, you make, as you said, you talk about the Localizer plus data analyst and the Localizer plus evangelizer. So what would a Localizer plus data analyst do? What kind of data would such a person collect and use?
Well, I think as Localizer plus data analyst, this person would use data to support all the localization decisions and strategies they make. So I think data is like natural storytelling tools, because everyone has the ability to understand data and there is no comprehension gap when it comes to data. It's like we speak more than 200 languages as human beings, but when it comes to doing math, we only use the Arabic numeral systems. So I think data kind of functions as the Arabic numeral system that everyone has no problem understanding it. And we don't need to do any translation or interpretation to convey our ideas if we can tell the story right using the data visualization methods. So basically, that's why I think it's super important to develop data analyst skills as a localizer. And when it comes to what kind of data we need to work with, I think it really depends on my audience. Like if I'm about to presenting to executives or upper management in the company, then probably I would want to align localization operational data with revenue data and profit data, just to demonstrate how localization can help the company make a profit. And if I'm trying to get a product manager or a manager from other department like marketing department or user support department on board with a localization decision, then I need to speak their language by aligning localization data with marketing campaign data in different locales and performance data of user support content in different locales. So it really depends.
And you also talk about the localizer plus evangelizer. So as a localizer plus evangelizer, what approach would you use?
Well, I think the mission of Localizer plus Evangelizer is to teach the world what is localization and why it matters so much. Because as a student studying localization management, I often found myself in an awkward position where I need to explain to my family and friends repeatedly about what I do, and still they couldn't get it, even though they are beneficiary of localization every single day because they play video games developed by a foreign company and watch TV shows and movies with subtitles or dubbings in their own language. And also this is the case for companies because localization is always an afterthought in many companies, and companies fail to see how localization make a difference for them to expand their global market. So I'm thinking under such a circumstance, localization professionals were usually swamped by dealing with localization defects that can be prevented in the first place if localization is under consideration during the development phase. So I think the energy and time of localization professionals can be used better to come up with overall strategies to help the companies attract more users. So nowadays, we're kind of trapped in a vicious circle where people from other departments don't understand our value, and we are swamped by small tasks instead of overarching strategies. So I'm thinking we as localization professionals should come in and break these vicious circles by saying, okay, we're not just a supporting department. We can do something much greater. We deserve more budget, more resource, more assets. So yeah, I think that's what we should do apart from handling day-to-day projects.
Yeah. Okay, and to prepare the new generation of localizer plus professionals, what can the academia and the industry do, in your opinion?
Well, I think the academia definitely plays an important role in this regard. Because actually, I don't think we should develop new roles in the industry for Localizer Plus, and we just need to adopt a new mindset into our current positions. So for example, if I'm a localization project manager, I shouldn't be satisfied with overseeing the end-to-end localization workflow and be satisfied about delivering my project in time. I should stay curious about what my stakeholders are doing so that I can provide better consulting and opinions to them to come up with better strategies. And also, I think we also need to adopt mindset to embed data analysis and influencing skills into our day-to-day job. So that's something I think what Middlebury Institute of International Studies really good at, because this semester I had classes on data-driven localization. And in my previous semesters, I have classes focusing on marketing, help center, and software development. So I have a glimpse of how different content types look like in the localization industry, and how I can use my localization expertise to help different departments make different and more effective decisions. So I think in the academia world, we should develop more courses focusing on not just localization or translation, but also other domains.
Yeah. And is there something that the industry can do to prepare the new generation to this localizer plus job role?
Well, I think when it comes to the industry, I think the current professionals in the industry should have the mindset that we are not satisfied with dealing with day-to-day job. And when the team is onboarding new localization professionals, they need to teach them how to build up this overall mindset of Localizer Plus, because this is also something I learned from my summer internship. So in that team, I was involved in some kind of localization initiative where we need to align localization operational data with company-wise operational data to present to the upper management why localization matters. And also I was involved in another project to come up with a series of localization evangelization material to teach stakeholders the basic concepts of localization. So I think the localization team of my summer internship did a great job in opening my eyes to more roles I can develop as a localizer. So I'm hoping more companies can be doing the same thing. And of course, when I'm becoming a localization professional, I'll be doing the same thing for future professionals.
That is fantastic. One final question. How can an organization like Gala contribute to?
Well, I think that's a very interesting question. I think Gala is doing a lot in helping us to think about what new roles we can develop as localizer. That's also something I learned from Gala 2022, because at that Gala, I learned about a lot of new technologies in the localization world, like the new machine translation engine systems, and also the new tools to integrate different type of content to localization management tools. So after coming back from that gala, I felt like I need to delve more into the technical side of localization instead of solely focusing on project management. So I feel like Gala can open a window to students studying localization about what they need to improve to better align their skill set with what the industry requires nowadays.
Okay, well, we'll definitely keep trying and do our best. And thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to meeting you in Dublin and maybe continue our chat. Okay?
Sure, I'm looking at you.
Okay, congratulations again.